Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game Roulette. We have a very spooky episode for you today, as we will all be playing Bluebeard's Bride. But before we get into the game, let's go around our virtual table and meet the sisters, or rather the players playing the sisters.
I'm Sebastian. I'm a TTRPG designer, writer, and editor, and also performer. I am playing the Animus today.
Hello, I'm Pooja, and I am a TTRPG performer and also prop master for television production, and I will be playing the Fatale.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I am a TTRPG designer and writer. I co-host a live stream with Miriam called They're a Super Geek, and tonight I am playing the mother.
Hello everyone, I'm Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. Today I will be playing the witch.
So Bluebeard's Bride is essentially a feminine horror TRPG in the PBTA system, where we all play, or rather everyone else except for me, because I am the groundskeeper or the GM for this game. They all play different aspects of the bride. The gist of the game is we will read out the tale of Bluebeard, as you know, and then we will start exploring rooms and horror will happen. And then ultimately we'll see if you all make it to the final room or not. There are essentially three types of moves you can do in this game. There's Maiden Moves, there's Ring Moves, and there's Exit Moves. But we'll get into that as we play the game. There's going to be a lot of heavy themes explored, especially sexism, the patriarchy, gaslighting. So if at any point during this game you need to step away, please do. You can come back to it or just never come back to it. That is perfectly fine. But your mental health is our priority, so please take care of yourself, and you have been warned. And we'll quickly go right now into the tale of Bluebeard.
Once upon a time, there lived a zamindar whose palace was so splendid and so richly furnished that not even the sultans could be compared with it. He had dishes of gold and silver, sofas and chairs upholstered in the finest silk. The walls were adorned with every kind of curious antique. There was, however, something very odd about this landlord. The color of his beard was a rich and shocking blue. His countenance was both distinct and unmistakable, and so he was never spoken of by his real title, which was grand and noble, but instead he was simply referred to as Neela Dari, or Bluebeard. He was a fearsome man with deep-set eyes, and he was known for having an uneven temper. Even so, Neela Dari had been married many times. No one quite knew what had become of each of his wives in turn, and there had never been a funeral at the palace that anyone living could remember. They simply vanished, and when time passed, he would marry anew.
One day, Neela Dari went hunting in the countryside near his estate. With the sun high, he came upon a dilapidated farmstead and wished to slake his thirst and rest. The farmers were eager to please the powerful landlord and sent their lovely young daughter scurrying to serve him tea and bread. Neela Dari was instantly smitten with her beauty. He decided right then that he would take her as his wife. For a week, he entertained her among a cadre of other fine landlords and their ladies. No expense was spared. His wealth was dazzling in the way a cobra dazzles a mouse.
After that single hedonistic week, Neela Dari came to call with a marriage proposal. Neela Dari scared the young woman, but she couldn't let her family languish in poverty. And besides, maybe his beard wasn't quite that blue. She accepted his proposal. In short order, they were married. Such a sight it was.
Now we will actually get into what our characters are all about. We have in advance done our session 0, our lines and veils, and character creation. So we will now just quickly go over what the playbooks actually do. So we will start off with the Animus.
So the Animus, she holds on to righteousness with both hands. Others admire her strength and bow to her will. So the face move that I chose is the shield. When one of my sisters marks trauma, I can explain to her how the trauma she is experiencing is her fault and then ask if she believes me. If she believes me, she marks one less trauma. If she rejects my explanation, I mark one trauma as I experience the shame of my own impotence.
So there's just a wee bit of like blaming going on over there.
Yeah, the animus is gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. That's it.
All right, we're gonna move on to the Fatale. If you would like to tell us a little bit about what your character.
The Fatale, you drip sensuality from your lips. Others watch your every move and crave for you to take control. And I chose the Spider. Your beauty and charm get you what you want. When you trap a servant or whore with your feminine wiles, they will tell you a secret about either the house or Bluebeard. And then I can mark a trauma to ask a follow-up question, because that is what this game needs, is more trauma.
Yeah, this is probably a good time to get into what trauma does in this game. Trauma is essentially how you mark your HP, and you only have 5 of them. There's lots of ways to get trauma, very few ways to heal them. And if you hit your 5th trauma, you shatter. What does that mean? We will get to that if that becomes important. It basically means you die and you kind of become assistant groundskeeper. Yeah, so now we will go on to the mother.
You walk with authority. Others ache for your approval and long for you to soothe their wounds. And the face that I chose is the martyr. So you will take your love to the ends of this world. When you offer forgiveness for a sister's sin, mark trauma 1 for 2 to heal that sister. It's a very motherly move.
Mm-hmm. And then last, we have the witch.
The witch reads, "You braid magic from shadow and blood. Others desire a taste of your sin and pray for your undoing." The face that I have chosen is the viper. When you care for a servant by poisoning them with your lies, they choke on your words and die.
Wow, that's that escalated.
It's a lot.
Now we're going to go into the next part of character creation / finding out more about this bride by answering some questions known as the wedding prep now. So we'll start with the witch. What is the bride's hair like, and how do others like you to wear it?
The bride's hair is long and brown with dark violet highlights. It has a very untamed and wild feel about it. But other people would prefer if the bride didn't have those highlights. And it would be nice if, she tamed it a little bit, braided it into a single neat plait, or adorned it with even like a prandi or something, make it look nice.
And has there been any more aggressive sort of methods of making you tame your hair? Like has anybody chopped your hair off or anything of that sort?
I think people have certainly tried, but have not succeeded.
And the mother, what is the bride's figure like, and what do others wish was different about it?
So our figure is slender and small, but very strong. And we know that our hips are small, and we have heard others whisper often that they are not the right size for childbirth.
Has your family ever tried to, pad your dresses out or anything of that sort to make you more presentable?
Oh, absolutely. But we take those pads right out first chance we get.
And Fatale, what does the bride's mouth look like, and how do others keep her quiet?
Our mouth is full and wet, like we just bit into a particularly ripe fruit, making others wonder what they would taste like if licked. And others keep us quiet by keeping us away from those people who would see our value, especially the men who we could sway to our desires.
Now, the most important question ever: what fruit?
Mango. Always mango.
Always mango.
it's that part like right at the very end in the center when you're squeezing the seed between your fingers so you can lick the juice off your hand.
Yep. And with the animus, what are the bride's hands like? And what weakness do you give away when others hold your hand?
We have small but strong hands stained with the rich colors from the work we do dyeing fabrics. We consider our hands to be our livelihood, and we prettify them with deep blue nail varnish because it matches the color of our new husband's beard. But when others hold our hand, they can sense our nervousness and compulsion to occupy our hands. And we too often forget that we are holding someone else's hand, and we go to make gestures or pick up tools which reveal our lack of focus.
Nice. All right. Our next question that everyone will answer in turn. What are you leaving behind from your provincial life to become Bluebeard's bride?
We're leaving behind a loving family and supportive community.
With your loving family, is there anyone in particular you are going to miss the most?
I think I'm going to miss my parents. I think we're going to miss our parents a lot.
And what about them are you going to miss the most?
We're going to miss the feeling of being cozy and feeling safe and leaving behind everything that is familiar. I think we're going to miss the smell of our parents cooking.
That's and Fatale?
My younger siblings, who I've best learned to manipulate.
Is there any one particular sibling?
I have a younger sister, and she's the jewel of our parents' eyes and so eager to please. So eager.
So is she like the perfect daughter, perfect, wife material? And
yeah, she is. She is very biddable and yet hardworking and makes absolutely fantastic food, but will also make time to massage our mother's feet. It's just honestly quite infuriating how she always does everything right.
And I can kind of tell how you feel towards her, but how does she react to you?
I think she looks up to me as, I'm her older Didi, and I know more about the world than she does. And she, just really wants me to love her the most. Which, of course, I do. Of course.
So it's kind of a one-sided on her end.
I just don't have the hero worship. And also that fair, side dish of jealousy. Makes for great sibling relationships.
All right, Mother.
I'm leaving behind my best friend who knows my flaws and my heart and accepts me as I am. We've had lots of honest and vulnerable moments, and I will miss those greatly.
Out of the two of you, are you getting married first?
No, I don't think she has like a formal engagement or betrothal yet. And we were hoping to kind of put that off as long as possible.
And I feel like because we've done this ahead of time, there's a reason why. Hello, witch. What are you leaving behind?
We are leaving behind a female lover unknown to the bride's family, who also happens to be our best friend.
We're gonna again go back reverse order, which means we'll start with the witch. When you first met, what loving gesture did Bluebeard make that won you over?
He introduced us to his friends without shame for where we come from, as if we belonged in his high-class, high-society world. He didn't make a point to bring up the fact that, we are from a poorer family, from a smaller village, that kind of thing. It just didn't come up. It wasn't relevant, at least not to him.
And Mother, same question.
He looked in our eyes when he spoke to us as if we were almost his equal and not beneath him.
I'm sensing a theme here. And Fatale.
He set down a villager who was spreading rumors about my purity.
What was the rumor? Do you want to get into what the rumor is?
They were terrible lies about how he had seen me sneaking off and to meet a boy in the next village and just ridiculous things.
And by set down, is it like set down as in kind of verbally told? Oh, it's more of a never seen again.
I mean, I haven't seen him in a bit, but that doesn't mean anything. I just know that Bluebeard took care of it. Which,
yeah.
I mean, if you're willing to go to the trouble, then I don't know that many people would.
And Animus, same question.
He promised us that we would travel the world together, and he presented us with souvenirs from his past trips.
Ooh. What sort of souvenirs?
He's given us beautiful carved models of landmarks from all around the world, places halfway across the globe, carved out of wood, carved out of precious stone, really beautiful trinkets.
And is there any one in particular that you most value?
I think he's given us a small model of the Eiffel Tower with gold leaf.
So then our next question is, what gift did you present to Bluebeard before the wedding, and why did you choose this? Animus.
We made him a silk handkerchief to wear at our wedding that matched our own outfit. We chose it because it is a symbol of our devotion and how we will use our arts and talents to build a wonderful life with him where we are harmonious together.
So then I guess a quick question, which I will say that the rest of you can also help in answering, is what color or motif is your outfit?
I'm tempted to say maybe it's purple. That would go with how we like to do our hair. Does that, but it also includes blue, which is kind of representative of him. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah,
Same.
like a blue purple kind of theme going on.
And with like gold trim.
Yeah,
as well.
like
absolutely.
intricate gold embroidery that we sewed ourselves. Like,
Yeah, we dyed the fabric ourselves, definitely.
Ooh, that's really nice. That's wonderful. All right, same question, Fatale.
I gave him a small photo of myself, looking as beautiful as I ever have, to keep with him always, to remind him that we will always be with him.
So I have a question, and since we kind of decided ahead of time, it was kind of like the 90s-ish, we're kind of setting it modern day 90s. What sort of a photo is it?
I think it's like, it's kind of like what would be an American like senior photo.
Oh, yeah.
It's like posed artfully in the woods somewhere next to a tree, but in our marriage outfit.
Ooh, so you're already wearing your wedding gown.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We had to try it on to make sure that everything was perfect. So, and we'll never be as beautiful as we will be on our wedding day.
Mother, what gift did you give to your spouse?
We cooked his favorite meal and dessert, which was chosen to show how well we will be able to care for him.
And may I ask what the dish and the dessert was?
You can, but I don't remember the name we agreed upon. What did we make him, sisters?
Isn't it biryani of some kind?
It was lamb
Yeah.
biryani and gajar ka halwa.
Thank you.
So like a carrot halwa,
It was amazing.
which is really, in real life, really hard to make, the carrot halwa. I mean, so is the biryani. A good biryani, anyway.
Is there any, if you're going to waste your time, why bother at all?
I mean, there are shortcuts and there's other things, but all right. What gift did you present to Bluebeard?
A pair of shoes, specifically kusas, that are expensive for us anyway, just to show him that we're not going to disgrace him and we understand and respect his station in life.
Yeah, and what do these kusas look like?
I think they match the outfit that he is going to wear to the wedding, and so they obviously match our outfit as well because we match each other. So they've got this I think that the border around it is all gold, and as well as the curl on the front of the shoe on the toes is also gold, and it's like this deep midnight blue with like specks of purple floating in and out of it.
Ooh, looks like galaxy shoes.
Awesome.
Galaxy kusas. And our last question before we finish our wedding prep. Do you trust your generous husband, Bluebeard, or we should say Neela Dari, since I made the effort of changing the name? Or do you hold unkind suspicions? Why is that?
I trust him because he's the only person of his kind of status that has ever been this kind to me, and that disarms me.
And Mother?
Yeah, we trust our husband because that's what a good wife should do.
I see some very trusting sisters across the board. Will that continue? Fatale?
I do not trust him yet, as no man will show you his true face until he believes you cannot escape his power.
Oof. And Animus?
I do not trust him, but I wish that I did. Everyone in our community seems happy for us, and I feel like if I'm unhappy or unnerved, I'm being ungrateful, and I'm trying to convince myself that my fears are unfounded.
And now we get into the section where we create our sisterly bonds. We've already done this in advance, so we're just quickly going over them for the benefit of the audience and each other. We will start with the Animus, if you'd like to read out your sisterly bonds.
The mother is the only one who can soothe me because someone broke one of the souvenirs that Bluebeard gave to us, and the mother reminded me that we would have more. We'd have even more once we moved in with him, with Neela Dari. And I am envious of the witch. I can never compare to her because she does what she wants, and she has still managed to win Neela Dari's approval.
And Fatale?
Animus has no idea of a woman's true power. I wish to teach her because what we make has strength and gives us security, and we are worth more than just what we can give to other people. I try to draw in the mother with my seductive aura, and I use those flirtatious ways to hide my insecurities from her. But the more I can control the people around me, the less that people can see how terrified I am to be under others' control.
And the mother?
The Fatale irritates me with their obstinance. Most recently, she wore a suggestive outfit for a photo for her husband, and I had told her not to, but she did it anyway. It was very frustrating. I trust the witch to have my back, and that is mainly because they helped us lie so that we would not get caught with our female lover.
So I have a question about said photo. Did it actually get given away, or was it stopped before that was given?
I gave it to our best friend because who else would keep your secrets that well?
Ooh, ooh, ooh! I have ideas.
That's a terrifying sentence to hear from you.
It is.
And witch, what are your sisterly bonds?
The femme fatale is a useful tool. She is the face that helps my words have more impact. Meanwhile, the animus draws an evil to her. She is naive and prone to being manipulated despite her mistrust of Neela Dari. To prevent her from being even more pliable to manipulation, I have to lie to her about people's intentions, especially Neela Dari's, to make those people look more suspicious.
That's interesting, as you trust your husband, but you make sure you trust Neela Dari, but you go out of your way to make Animus suspicious of Neela Dari. That's interesting.
It's for her own good.
So it is the eve of your wedding. You are in your room in front of a wonderful mirror, getting dressed. You are wearing a wonderful purple and blue and gold outfit. I would like to say it's like a garara, which is like a sort of a tunic like mine, which has like 3/4 sleeves. It's fitting. And then the bottom is like this very large, very heavy skirt, but it's not actually a skirt. It's a very flared out pants that when you gather them look like a skirt. And you have a veil on your head, which is almost transparent. But it is dyed expertly in the same shade as your outfit, as you have made it yourself with beautiful embroidery. And your small, strong hands, which are usually stained with the rich colors of your dyeing fabrics, are now stained with the deep red of henna in intricate patterns that show off your wonderful hands. But your nails, instead of being dyed in the color of henna like they do traditionally, stay blue to match your husband-to-be's beard. And your lips, which are full and wet, are painted in the shade of matching your outfit, an almost pomegranate purple red. And your slender but small and strong frame is very wonderfully silhouetted, and with the full skirts and the tight fitting tunic, it shows off an hourglass figure, more so than it usually is, accentuating your hips. And your long brown hair that is usually unruly, with dark violet highlights, has been expertly braided into a single braid and lengthened with a golden brandy, which is very artfully draped across your shoulder. And as you are looking into the mirror, you see your younger siblings come in and say, "Oh, you look so pretty," and being just cooing over your appearance. And your mother enters and sort of adjusts your veil and whispers to you, "I'm so glad you're getting married. You have married so well that I have no problem getting your other sisters married off. Thank you, my daughter."
Oh, could I do anything else for you, Mother?
Just make sure you keep your husband happy and give him many children.
Of course we will. That's what good wives do.
Yes. And I know you think you still have time to do all the things you wanted to do as a child, but you are truly going to be grown up now, and you need to do as a proper lady does, especially a lady in his station. So try not to do anything that will anger him.
I'll make you proud, and I'll make him proud too.
I think,
yeah, go ahead.
I think even as we say that, there is a bit of our nervousness is showing through. I think like our hands are we're kind of like wringing them together a little bit, and they're like shaking a bit. Because even though this is something that we feel like we can do and that we are ready for, it's still a huge change.
And sort of looks up and hears a noise outside of a horse and says, "I think he's here now. Please come down shortly." and she goes away, and your best friend comes and sort of smiles at you. Her eyes are not quite smiling, but she's smiling at you, and she says, "Congratulations."
Are we alone in this room with her?
At the moment, yes, you have just a few moments before your family essentially does sort of like escorts you to the wedding mandap.
I think we would probably want to kiss her goodbye, but then remember that we can't mess up our lipstick before the wedding, and we've just hug her for as long as we possibly could get away with.
And I think while we're hugging her, we'll take a big sigh and just whisper into her ear, "I love you, and this doesn't change that for me."
She doesn't say anything, and she just kind of takes a little bit of her very well cold eyes and puts it behind your ear, makes a little mark, and says, doesn't actually say anything, and she says, "Good luck." And your younger siblings, your mom and your dad arrive, and they basically hold another veil up over you as you basically go down under the veil in a procession, down the stairs, down to the wedding mandap, and you see Neela Dari for the first time in his wedding outfit. You see he is wearing a very similar suit, sherwani, in sort of the purple and blue specks with a matching gold embroidery. And you see tucked in the pocket your silk handkerchief that you made him, expertly folded to sort of stand up. And you see a little slip of photo paper, which you know is probably also the photo that you have given. And the shoes are on his feet. And as the wedding happens, it is almost a blur. And even though the whole ceremony is about an hour, it felt like moments as you are sort of just blur. And when it is time to eat, you personally feed him the biryani you had painstakingly prepared for him as a show of what your life is going to be like, and dessert shortly after.
Does he compliment the food, or does he say anything?
Yeah, he just sort of has a bit, closes his eyes, and nods, and doesn't say anything publicly, but as you know, you're taking pictures and things, sort of very, very whispers into your ear, "That was delicious, and you're delicious," and leaves it at that. And it is time for the bidai, or sort of give the bride sort of leaving, and everybody is little balls of tears and just sort of emotions. And I will leave it up to you who you say goodbye to in what order before you leave with Bluebeard in his wonderful car. He came on a horse, but he will leave in a fancy car.
I say goodbye to my siblings first. I say to be good. And I tell my little sister that this is going to be her one day.
I have a question for you. Is that supposed to be comforting or a threat?
We'll find out.
Valid answer. Valid.
And as for how it is taken, you see your younger sister go like, "I get to be your princess too."
Oh.
Youth.
Yeah, right.
Are there any other goodbyes you want to have before you are swept into the car with your husband?
Probably our parents as well. One last time, I'll thank them for their help with the wedding preparations, and I'll promise to write to them.
And your father says, you like, I hope you are happy. The usual thing that was even said by your mother, and you take care of Bluebeard. We have sent many things along to him to help you settle into your new place. It was difficult to get all the things, but you are worth it, and we will make sure you have enough of us and our home. And you may not be sure, you're not quite sure what he means by that. You think it might be that Neela Dari's family might have asked for something, a token, but you're not sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, we're about to leave, so I probably won't ask him any more about it. I'll just kind of hug them goodbye one last time.
And I think before we go into the car, like just as we're holding on to the door, like about to go in, I think we look back and look at our best friend one last time. I don't think we say anything or do anything, but just one last look before we have to leave.
And she's definitely bawling, but it doesn't look out of place. And you get the sense those tears have been waiting for quite a while to be allowed to be flowing freely. The appropriate moment.
Yeah.
And you are whisked away into this wonderful, luxurious car with Neela Dari. And Neela Dari just looks at you and with your consent kind of just cups your face to just sort of look at your face. And kisses you on the forehead. And says, I will give you a moment, as this has been quite an emotional night. And as you are heading off to his wonderful palatial home, suddenly you hear the ringing of a phone, a very large brick phone. Antenna is pulled, and he says, "Hello, Neela Dari," and starts talking for a bit. You tune out for a little while, but you notice that his face changes, and he says, "Okay, all right. Really? You can't wait? Fine. Just let me finish up what I need to do, and I'll be there as soon as I can." And switches his brick phone, puts it away. You are starting to see the outline of the palatial grounds. You are now going down the very long driveway to it. It is looming over you. And he stops and he says, "My dear, something has called me away, and it cannot be delayed. I will be gone. However, my home is your home, and my family will welcome you with their open arms. And feel free to explore the house as you want until I return." And pulls out a large keychain of keys and attaches it to your veil, as is customary. And a lot of times, to sort of, if you don't have pockets, they tie it to your veil because you'll always have one on you. And it'll also be a nice little weight so that it stays put and doesn't keep falling off. And he very gently ties it to your veil. And you see it is a whole chunk of keys. The word that comes to my mind is gucha, which is like a horde of keys. And he sort of very quickly tries to go over what each key is, but you're not quite paying attention as it's been a very long day. And then he pulls out this very itty bitty key and he says, you can go to everywhere you want in this house except for this one room, this little room that is down the hall, and describes it for you. I forbid you to use this key. Promise me you will not use this key. And waits, like, promise me, like, is staring at you, expecting you to say something.
I promise.
Good. At this point, the car stops and someone opens the door. And he says, all right, my darling, this is where you get off. I will be back soon. And then we can start our life as husband and wife. And sort of bids you to leave. Remember, every door except for that key.
I'll be waiting for you.
And the door closes and the car speeds off. And you are in front of this big palatial home that stretches beyond maybe even what you can perceive. It's very big. It feels massive. There is, the doors are open, and there is a fountain right in front with some cooling water. Sort of like the water is sort of like cooling off the heat of the evening. What do you do?
What does the fountain look like? Is it carved into a particular shape?
It looks like a generic fountain that is found in front of like big mansions. There's nothing particularly interesting about this one.
Are we alone?
You are mostly alone. You actually see there's a small, like about a young boy, probably about 15 or 16, just sort of hanging around and kind of just staring at you, but not really doing anything, just sort of like from the inside of the house, kind of just peeking over, and it's like, oh. It's actually really surprising. You expected after the wedding, especially if you were coming with Bluebeard, there with Neela Dari, that there would be a reception for you waiting here. None of your in-laws attended the wedding. It was you, your family, and whoever was in your village.
Yeah.
And the house lights are mostly from the outside. It doesn't look like there was someone who recently got married here. It's like almost like no one's home.
Feels a bit rude, I will say.
It's definitely not the reception we had hoped for.
I'm surprised he wasn't more prepared.
Well, I suppose we'll wash our hands and feet and go in.
Are you proposing that we wash our hands and feet in the fountain, or you mean like find a bathroom and do that?
I mean, if
You
there's
do
not
have the
like a...
keys. You do have the keys.
We do have the keys.
Yeah.
I was going to just, like, if there was not like a place like near the front door to do it, I don't mind doing it in the fountain because I have no class.
Yeah. I mean, I also don't mind doing it in the fountain just because I'm curious about it. Like, we've probably never seen a fountain that's like kind of this ornate in person, and it might be, I'm probably curious about what the water feels like and vaguely would wonder where it comes from.
I'm down for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so you approach the fountain, and the water is quite cool. Like, it's water that's been sort of like underground rather than above ground, heating up with the day.
Yeah.
It's not like ice cold. It's just like pleasantly cool. And yeah, you can definitely wash your hands. It looks clear. As you're washing your hands, there's a little giggle heard from inside, like someone's sort of like, it's a giggle of someone that sounds like when people see you commit some sort of a social faux pas.
Oh.
And as you go look for it, that the person attached to the giggle is not visible or has run away.
Okay.
Is that boy still in the window?
Boy's gone.
It's probably the boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since he's not here to laugh at us anymore, I have no problem pooling my feet in this water.
I think before we do it again, though, I want to scan the area to make sure this time that nobody is around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see there doesn't seem to be anybody in your periphery or in sort of the entrance to the house or to any of the buildings nearby.
Then let's wash away.
It appears like you're alone.
Then yes, let's finish washing up.
Yeah, let's go in.
Inside.
Yeah, I say you finish washing up, and if you have tried to sort of just wash just your hands and your feet, you don't get the rest of your gown wet. But if you try to go past your wrists or your ankles, you will definitely be getting your outfit wet.
Just hands and feet.
Yeah, just hands and feet. Let's not.
The outfit is far too expensive.
Right. We're
We
careful.
worked way too hard on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think we should? Do you think we should maybe get changed into something that's less? I don't know, because as you said, it's we spent a lot of time making this. What if we need to use it later, like for another photo shoot or something?
Or a fancy party. He probably has a lot of those.
He probably, yeah. So maybe, do you think they'll have clothes for us? I mean, our parents said that they sent things along. We should find maybe something more comfortable, or
Yeah, we should find where they put our stuff.
yeah, we should do that.
All right. So now this is where I will ask who is in charge of the wedding ring, as that is in Bluebeard's Bride. There is essentially ring moves, which only the person who is currently in control of the wedding ring can make use of. And usually the person who controls the wedding ring also sort of controls the bride's body at that given time. I am sort of leaning towards the animus as A, it's the hand, and B, you did suggest to go see if you can find a change of clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with that.
All right. So then the question for you, Animus, is what key do you pick up and what does it look like?
Probably, since we're opening the very front door to the house, it would probably
the doors are open.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably something that looks like probably a mid-sized key meant for that has perhaps a personal touch to indicate that it might be a bedroom. Maybe a newer key if it's a key that he said that was made for our new bedroom specifically together.
Yeah, and what color does it look like? What is it made of? What do you think it looks like?
I think it's probably a key that's made to our taste. So it's probably gold, but not made of gold because that would be too weak a metal. But it's
like gold leaf.
Yeah, gold leaf. It's I mean, honestly, it's the 90s, so it's probably a very tacky key. So yeah.
I love that.
It hurts.
Yeah, like a key that's like
yeah, so you head to what looks like where the bedrooms might be, and you end up finding a door that reflects it. It's this beautifully, tastefully carved, but not ostentatious door with gold leaf. And as you put your the key into the lock, it fits and turns properly. The door opens and the room beckons and you enter and the door closes behind you.
Okay.
You see in this room a large, I would say like a 4-poster bed that is easily for 2 people. You see a cupboard that is made of a very fine oak, and you find essentially bowls of fruit, and you find as well that there is a fireplace with a chair that is plush and made of silks. And you see all of that. What do you do?
Wow. I think I'll probably take a moment to, I think I'll probably just touch all of the various different fabrics because they're probably very expensive. And these are things that maybe we've dreamed of working with one day, but have never been able to afford to get.
Before you all decide to investigate this room as you would, I will take this moment to talk a little bit about the Maiden Moves. Now, the Maiden Moves are moves that anyone can do at any time. You don't have to have the ring. And they include a lot of investigatory moves that don't actually require any dice rolls. You simply get to do something or ask questions. So the 3 moves that exist are care for someone, investigate a mysterious object, and take stock. And we'll go over what those moves are when you actually use them. So you're all in this room. What would you like to do?
This is more than I even expected.
Right? It's beautiful.
So do we have any other clothes that would fit in here?
Yeah, I mean, we could look in the closet because you said there was a big oak chest, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, we can look in there.
All right. So are you investigating, or are you just opening
I
it?
think we're just going to open it. I mean, I think that it sounds like we're all really impressed with the quality of the fabric, and we're all kind of excited about this room. So we'll probably open it.
Yeah.
As you get closer to the oak chest, you hear the sounds of gasping from inside.
Sisters, do you hear that?
Yes. Is there someone or something in there?
Hello?
Did he say he had pets?
If so, who shut them up in the cupboard? That's painful.
That's terrible. I think we would. Is everybody okay with me opening the door? Aware that there might be something alive in there?
I think whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's someone or something in there, we should get them out immediately.
Okay. Yeah. I'll open the door.
As you do, you see essentially what looks to be, even though it looks like an oak chest, it is actually more like a walk-in closet. With
Oh, wow.
And as you open it, you see mannequins of clothes on mannequins that are for like women. And you hear from one corner of like where the mannequins are, like, I can't breathe.
Hello? Is there someone in there?
Does he have mannequins?
Do the mannequins have faces?
They're dress mannequins, like
okay.
They're headless with a little sort of like a bin, like for displaying clothes, not for.
Oh, they're
like,
headless too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there clothes on them?
There's clothes on them.
Okay. So this was set up for us.
Okay.
I mean, he set this all up for us.
I have a question for the groundskeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Are these mannequins roughly the same kind of shape and size as our own figure?
They are, but they're a little more filled out. Like someone with, like an hourglass figure where you're a little more slender.
Oh.
I bet his mother did it.
We didn't even get to meet her. She didn't. Yeah.
But I would love to know Who is back there gasping?
Yeah. Hello? Can we help you?
And you think it is actually coming from this one particular mannequin in the corner that is wearing what looks to be something that you're definitely not used to, which is a corset. Like it looks like it's more like lingerie than anything, but it's like a corset with a full bodice and nothing else, just the corset, the top part going.
Okay. Okay. Maybe we should take the corset off. I didn't know that mannequins could speak.
Why is the mannequin breathing?
Why?
No, they can't.
They can't.
They can't speak. I mean, are we really tired? It's been a long day.
It's been a really long day, but you can all hear it too, right? Like we're not just.
Why does Bluebeard have this?
Yeah, I think this is time to investigate a mysterious object. We could ask, why did Bluebeard keep this item?
Okay, so are you essentially investigating
the mannequin? I think that counts as a mysterious object.
Yes, it definitely does. Then,
and it would allow us to essentially ask that question. So we could ask, why did Bluebeard keep this item? Because, we had no idea he was a collector of, mannequins.
Magic mannequins, possibly.
I don't know, like mannequins that
Terrifying.
talk.
All right, so you get to ask 2 questions and we'll basically go question by question.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is the first question you would like to ask as you investigate this mysterious object?
Can it be, why did Bluebeard keep this item?
Yeah. You sort of get, as you get closer and you examine it, you see that this looks very shapely. You're not sure exactly why Bluebeard would have it here, but you think, given the other mannequins, that this was a very pleasing corset, very easy on the eyes. Maybe this is Bluebeard's fashion or type, like not to wear himself, but as in he likes his women to wear this.
We've never worn something like that, have we?
No.
No.
That's a Western object. We don't have the money for something like that.
Right.
I'm not sure
Also,
that
the
would
rest
even
of
fit
it's
us.
missing.
Yeah. So, what would we even wear it under? None of our clothes would fit over it.
Maybe it's to be worn underneath.
It looks very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That still doesn't explain why the mannequin is talking.
Okay.
What would your second question be?
I think maybe. So our options are, whose item is this? What memories does this item hold? And what about this item is odd or uncanny?
Yeah.
I'm inclined to go for the memories one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
If that sounds good to everybody else.
as you look at the details on this mannequin, you see very intricate, like this is some very exquisite beadwork and embroidery work. And as revealing as it is, whoever would wear it, especially in a figure like that, would look amazing. And you almost can feel, like in your mind's eye, the shape of the woman filling it in. Very, very beautiful, very sensuous. And you see that this would definitely give them a perfect figure, even if they're just a little lumpy in a couple of places.
Right.
And it would make them very desirable. And you almost, you're not naive. You know that Bluebeard has married before. Maybe this was a previous wife's. And you could almost see that, yeah, it can be a little uncomfortable, might be a little difficult to sit down or do certain tasks in it, but it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Well, since we don't know when he'll be back, maybe we shouldn't wear it right now, but maybe if we hear from him that he's on his way back, we could put it on later. surprise him.
Why does he still have that?
Why is he keeping this?
I mean,
If this belonged to one of his previous wives?
Why is it in our closet?
yeah. I mean, we shouldn't have to measure up to his previous wives, right? Like, he loves us for us.
But we do want to make him happy.
We do.
And as you're
But-
thinking, you hear sort of almost like a scream of like, ah, help me! I can't breathe! And as you look around, you notice there's a small little sewing repair kit with scissors.
Cut it
Ooh,
off her.
We could cut it off her.
Cut it over.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to try and do it in such a way that, like, would it take too long to undo the lacing? Because I don't want to cut his stuff or our stuff or...
Yeah, it looks like you could probably loosen the lacing if you don't want to just cut it
Yeah.
off.
I'm probably going to try to do that.
We should try that first.
Yeah, we'll try that first. And then if it's truly stuck, then we can cut it and then we can always repair it later. We're great at sewing. We can.
Why did he
find
put
another-
this here, though? I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do we
And-
recognize any of the other clothes in the closet? And if any of them are ours?
It doesn't look like anything in here is yours. It looks like whatever luggage was implied to have been sent ahead
Hasn't
is either
arrived.
not in this room or
No.
not unloaded yet or
Okay.
hasn't
Well,
arrived.
Maybe he bought us a whole new wardrobe. He does have a lot of money. Yeah,
Is
I'll
this
just
even our room?
yeah. I'll just like keep talking about this as I'm trying to undo.
So as you
the laces.
unlace, there's sort of a sigh of relief as it loosens. However, and once you basically unlace the whole thing, there's a sigh of relief, and you hear this very faint, "Thank you.
Who are you?
I'm so sorry." And you see now this corset starts to attach itself to you and start lacing out of you, out of nowhere, and you are having trouble breathing.
Pick up the scissors and
No.
cut it off.
Yeah.
of us.
Let's pick up the scissors and try to.
What is this?
These are now ring moves, which would be essentially, I would say, dirty yourself with violence
Okay.
if you want to cut it off of you.
In which case, yes, because it's probably lacing itself faster than I can unlace it. So I'm going to try and just get the scissor blade like over the top of it like this and try to cut it down the side
So while you
without ripping our own outfit, because, oh my God, if we did that, that would be terrible.
Yep. While that is happening, I'm just going to quickly go over what ring moves are. So ring moves are moves that can only be done with the person controlling the ring, which at the moment is the animus. And the moves that are there are essentially like like shiver from fear, where if you're truly scared of what's happening, you shiver from fear and you get to do something. Or you can caress a horror, where you try to essentially what it says in the description, caress it and comment. Or you can dirty yourself with violence, which is currently what the animus is going to be doing. Or if you decide you want to break down, you can cry for help, and help will be gotten if you succeed. Or you can willingly give up the ring to someone else and then be immune to whatever trauma until the ring is passed on next. And at this moment, we're dirtying ourselves with violence, which you roll with carnality. We essentially have 3 stats: blood,
right.
resilience, and
Yeah.
carnality.
Okay. Well, this is my best stat, so I'll try that. I got 4 + 1 is 5.
Yeah. So that if you roll 6 and below, it's a fail, where essentially I get to have some hard moves.
Okay, go ahead.
And as you try to, and at this point, after you roll it, you do have to pass the ring on.
Yep, that's okay.
However, there will be something as the laces tighten really, really tight. You find your ribs kind of giving in, and it is hurting. It is hard to breathe. You take 1 trauma. Now, as you are all possessing the same body, I will let the others choose if they want to willingly take 1 trauma. In sympathy, there's no mechanics or anything.
This
Also, if a face moves applies, face moves are moves you can make whenever the situation triggers it. So if there's any face move that applies here, you also may use that. However, at the moment, at least the animus is taking 1 trauma as the corset tightens.
I am going to take 1 because all of this is absolutely wrong.
Yeah, that's
More
awful.
wrong
This shouldn't
than-
just be. We just came in here looking for a change of clothes. What is this? Like,
At this point, who do you pass the ring on to?
Sorry, who just said they were? Who just said they were willing to take a trauma alongside me? I'd probably be like, maybe to the mother. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I'm not really. This isn't going so well. You usually know what to do in such situations.
Yeah, and I'm taking. I'll take a trauma. I mean, it's our first room. I feel like. I'll take a trauma.
I'm rejecting this situation. This is not happening. We're repressing, no trauma.
Okay.
I like that.
So do we succeed in cutting the corset off or no? Or technically not because I failed my roll.
Yeah, you failed your roll at being able to do it. Now the mother can do a ring move or something else. And everyone else can still do maiden moves.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my
Although
goodness,
right now you are suffocating. If you don't do something about it, you're probably going to take another trauma.
We tried cutting it off, correct? That's
Well, the animus tried to cut it off.
Right.
There are scissors. You too could dirty yourself with violence.
I'm wondering if we're going to try to cut it off or if we're just going to start crying out for help because this is such a panic situation now.
I have a thought.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't our room. None of our stuff is here. Why are we assuming this is our room?
We must have come in the wrong room. There's so many of them.
Oh, Lord. Did we just come in his sister's room? Does he have a sister?
He has many siblings, and some of them are married, some of them are not. You do not know the exact count, but you do know he has sisters and brothers, some married, some not.
Question. Do we know for sure, based off of the investigation, that this corset belonged to a previous wife, or just that we saw it belonged to someone?
It belonged to someone who wore it in a very sexy manner. And Bluebeard kept it because it looked sexy. So I will put ...
We would hope
you put the.
We would hope it was his wife.
Okay, but we know for sure that it's his item. Okay.
Or he has come.
He decided. Yeah, he decided to keep it. So
yeah.
I mean, either way, we should. So
you are currently being.
We're suffocating. We need to get this thing off.
Death. Just as a reminder.
Do something, mother.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna use dirty yourself with violence, specifically because the witch reminded us that this is not, or brought up the fact this may not be our room. And if we cry out for help and this isn't our room, what if
we get in trouble?
What if we get in trouble? What if we've done the wrong thing and we displease him? So I will attempt to cut it off because we can fix it. We can fix anything. We just don't want to get in trouble. Yes, 11.
Hey.
All right. On a hit, you inflict trauma as established, and you get to choose one. You disable them, you silence them, or mutilate them.
Wow. Silence them. Well, wait, I want to disable them because I would like this off of us.
Yeah.
Our body.
Yeah. So you take the scissors. Actually, you know what? Describe to me what you do. How do you use those scissors to take this corset off, this cursed corset off you?
Yeah. I think that the animus was attempting to do the right thing by cutting in the place that wouldn't damage the corset at first, or at least if it did, that we could easily repair it. However, we can't breathe. And so we are just taking the scissors now and just cutting and then attempting to rip as soon as we have made a decent cut in a couple of places just to get this off of us.
So you, as you indicated, you ripped it off from the side. And as someone who has recently bought a bunch of corsets, there's usually the front or the back is the point of access. So by ripping it off on the side, very easy, like you just ripped it off. You definitely have to sew it back and it's destroyed, like it's damaged.
Mm-hmm.
But you suddenly breathe and the corset no longer appears to want to animate or suffocate you.
Thank you. Wow.
And you are free.
Is it quiet now as well?
It is definitely a lot more quiet, and it is eerily quiet.
The mannequin's not making sound.
Well, it was coming in the direction of the mannequin, but no, the
that-
mannequin's not making any sounds.
Is there someone behind there? Does he have a witch living in this house?
We can look.
Watch your language.
Do we want to look? Do we need to know?
No,
I think, yes, he should. He told us we could explore. He didn't say that there would be dangers in this house.
Right, but a corset just tried to suffocate us. Do we want to go further in?
Well,
I
we can
want to
keep
know.
hold of the scissors.
to know who did this so that we could stop them.
Okay, we're tired. It's been a long day.
Yeah,
Maybe
The corset was just really tight, I think.
I think so. I mean, we want to please him. We probably tried it on and it was just, we don't know how to wear this properly.
Yeah, we need someone to show us.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta fix it before we show it to anybody, but yes.
Okay.
If you need to fix it, you don't think you can fix it in here, you will probably need to find where the sewing machine or the sewing room would be.
Okay.
The little kit here is more like like quick hand darning and repair stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You
I just don't
had
think
heard
this
that there's a
is-
sewing room somewhere.
I
Yeah.
don't think that should be our priority right now.
Well,
Should
no,
we-
Fix it later.
Should
Yeah.
we put it back in the closet and hide it under a bunch of other stuff so maybe he won't notice? Also, he didn't say when he would be back, so maybe we'll be able to fix it when we're less tired.
yeah, I think rest first. We should hide it.
Okay.
We will hide this.
Yeah,
Broken, ripped
you can easily hide it in the many shelves and spaces in this place.
Okay.
Okay, if this is not our room, we need to
We should
find our
find
room
our room.
and then change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds like you're trying to exit this room.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
So if you are trying to exit this room, there's two ways you can do that. You can either try to escape, which is, surprise, surprise, going to be bad for you,
Oh.
or you can propose a truth. Essentially, if you don't propose a truth and essentially take a token and advance the game, you are going to have to make a hard bargain or an ugly choice. And if you decide to pay the price, you may leave. If you just decide to escape. So
Mm.
maybe if you feel comfortable, you could propose a truth about this room. And exit moves are also something that only the person currently controlling the ring can make. However, the other sisters can help in fabricating what
Yeah.
the truth is about this room.
Mhm.
Who currently has the ring?
The mother.
The mother.
The
Yeah.
reason I ask is because the mother used a ring move. So from my
Yes,
understanding,
actually,
it moves.
you did to
Oh,
dirty yourself with
yeah.
violence. So you would have to pass the ring on.
I think that I give it to the witch simply because she had mentioned about maybe this isn't our room. And so it feels like maybe she has some idea of what to do next.
Okay. Yeah.
pass
So
it.
which you currently have the ring.
Okay. I will propose a truth about this room. What happened here was we stumbled into someone else's room. Whose room I'm not really quite sure, and we're not really going to dwell on that too much. That's not for us to know. But
Well, it could be just that Bluebeard, we know he had previous wives.
It
And
was.
why shouldn't he want to keep some memento of them after they've passed? I mean, that seems normal enough.
Yeah, but I was so sure this was our room. Like, look at this key. It's perfect. It looks new. He said that we would have everything we wanted and that there were rooms for us. I just don't understand how this couldn't be our room.
maybe it's going to be our room. Maybe it's in the middle of being changed. Things are being moved. I mean, you saw the outside of the house. They were not ready for us to be here today.
Yeah.
So
Maybe he had a longer term plan, but he just couldn't wait to marry us.
And he probably feels badly about it, and we should make him feel better and not worse.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll pretend we didn't find this room.
Mm-hmm.
We were never here.
And
This room is not ours.
therefore,
it's not ours yet.
is this as you describe what happened in this room, to whom and why? You also just get to describe a token that you take that supports your interpretation of what happened here, and then you tell me whether this is a token of faithfulness or a token of disloyalty.
I think what happened here is simply that this was an old room of an old wife, and she was beautiful, clearly, and had a corset that either she loved or Neela Dari loved for her to wear, and she passed away, and this is a memento that he keeps of her. We tried it on. We don't know how to put these kinds of things on, and so we did it wrong, and we started to hurt ourselves. That was not... We're tired, and there's nothing magical going on here. Token of faithfulness.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does it look like, this little token? We get to play essentially little kind of things get small enough to fit in some pocket to put away, so you don't have to worry, as long as it's not a creature or living thing.
Okay.
What does that token represent? Like, what does it physically represent?
I think maybe our token is like a needle from the sewing kit that we used. And it represents our ability to like create something, right? To fix something broken. I think here maybe this room represents Neela Dari's sorrow, even his grief over past wives, and we're here to fix that. We're here to fix him in the broken places.
Yeah, so as you take the needle and sort of find the door, it opens and you close the door behind you, and we will now take a short break and see what else the bride gets up to. Welcome back, and we are currently playing Bluebeard's Bride, otherwise known as Neela Dari in this game, because I like changing names to mean exactly the same thing, but different. And we are with our wonderful players who are playing the sisters, who are different facets of the bride. The bride has just gotten married, has stepped into this house with nary a reception, and nearly suffocated by corset, and has left a room. And currently, I believe the ring is with the witch. Yeah, where would you like to go next as you escape this? Clearly not your bedroom, or was it? Who knows?
We don't know where any of the rooms are or anything like that, so I think instead of, accidentally wandering into someone's room that we're not supposed to be in, the best course of action is to find the nearest servant and ask them. We are the new lady of the house. They work for us too.
Yeah, they should at least be expecting us, right?
Right.
I'm surprised no one showed us to our room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone
you
so
think
rich,
probably,
you would think.
They would have better servants.
Think so.
Yeah, maybe. And you think the best way perhaps would be going towards where servants normally would be, where do you think that would be in a house so big as this?
Servants'
Guys.
quarters,
What-
basement.
Kitchen?
I like the idea of the kitchen.
Kitchen.
I mean, there's
Okay.
always got to be someone in the kitchen, right? Because what if Neela Dari wants some chai in the night?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hungry, wants a snack.
What if we want a snack?
Do we want a snack? Maybe we should eat.
Yeah.
It's been a while since your wedding feast.
It did take forever to get here.
It did. Yeah. It was a long trip. Maybe we'll feel less
Somewhere.
tired if we have a snack.
Mm-hmm. We'll think more clearly.
Yeah.
So as you look at the keys, what key sticks out at you as perhaps belonging to the kitchen?
I think even though the kitchen is a place that everyone would want to go to at some point in time, I think the fact that the kitchen, generally speaking, is where, the servants are, the ones that cook for the family and all of that. It's not really considered to be like a grand place in the house. So I think it would have one of the smaller keys, probably like silver, nothing super fancy. It's just kind of like got like the little circle handle. And you can tell that it's for a mansion because the sort of ends on the keys are shaped in like the fancy little like grooves that some of those more elaborate keys would have. But compared to all of the rest of it, it's nothing fancy at all.
Yeah, for sure. So you make your way towards where you think essentially like all the common area rooms would be, and you make your way. You smell essentially smell of cooking, like some sort of savory stew of some kind, and that kind of leads you closer towards this door, and you see that this door looks very not as impressive as some of the other doors you've passed by, where it looks like these are stately rooms. This is definitely something that is a more plain and matches sort of, you see, instead of silver work, it looks more like aluminum, stainless steel, or even just iron, simply adorning it. And as you put the key in, and it sort of like has those sort of like very thin, not thin, sort of like dark curtains that kind of hide the door at all, so you don't see the plainness of it. So as you kind of move it away and see the door, and you put the lock in, and you open the door and the room beckons. You enter and the door closes behind you. You see in this kitchen, essentially, it looks like there's two sets of kitchens within this space. On one end, it looks like a very well sort of top of the line, perfect, like wonderful place with like marble tables, like marble tops, and absolutely spick and span with everything clearly labeled and stuff. And then you see almost close to the ground, closer to the back of the wall of this room, maybe leading out to the outside a little, you see garbage bales. You see a very simple gas stove right on the ground, as if someone has to kneel or bend down and use it. And you see cow pats on the side. And there's sort of a stark difference between these two. It's as if two different kitchens were put into this place. And you see on the counters of one, these exquisite samosas, big, inviting, and smelling of some richly spiced meat and potatoes, and you're not even sure what's all in it. It just smells very inviting. And on the other end, on the floor, you see almost like a very it's a very similar samosas, but they're a lot smaller. They look a lot more hearty, like they're not as rich. They're not fried in something. It might have been fried in something like almost really old oil. You see, you get a smell out of it, but the smell feels almost a little stale.
Well, I mean, we did say that we're feeling hungry, so I want to try a samosa.
I mean, they must be for us.
Yeah.
I would assume
At least
so.
someone
Maybe-
remembered that we
yeah.
were coming with Neela Dari.
Yeah, maybe they had to go clean up a different room, but they made sure that we had some food. That was nice.
Yeah.
So you go, which samosas do you try?
The big ones.
Mhm.
Okay.
Try
As
the
you
ones
go to
that
the
actually look
samosas, you start to hear a little like tutum, tutum, like a heartbeat.
Ooh.
Can y'all calm down just a little bit?
What do you mean?
Look, I'm just hungry.
I'm also hungry.
Yeah, that's probably a stomach rumble. It's nothing.
Well, okay, well, it definitely wasn't a stomach, first of all. And it's just the heart beating so fast, it's very distracting.
And you can almost feel it coming from the samosa itself.
Okay, not to alarm anyone here, but what do you know about high-class cooking? Do they use hearts in their food?
Oh.
Maybe it's a delicacy that
Like
we
a
just haven't had before.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
somebody's got to eat it, right? Because, like, I
Maybe-
mean, we've had mutton.
Right.
Maybe we should find and maybe we should open it and see what it looks like.
Yeah. Real quick though, I think I am hungry though, so we're gonna go over there and get the other samosa that is on the ground and eat that first.
Okay.
On the ground?
The one that's like in the like plate on.
I mean, so the one that looks like less appetizing but doesn't have a heartbeat.
I mean, that's
Well, we don't
fine.
know it doesn't have a heartbeat, but also, like, I've eaten things from rancid oil before. We should probably just not eat it all if that's the case.
What
I
if
mean,
we
do
just
you-
try both of them?
Yeah.
We could just open it up and see. I mean,
See what it looks like.
As you're holding on to the samosa, something starts to wriggle from within as if little hands are trying to open it,
Oh.
and the pastry starts to split.
I drop it onto the counter, and I imagine that whatever is inside it just kind of like spills onto the counter.
It
Yeah,
cracks
yeah, does it
open
burst?
in half, and you see what looks to be. Now, the thing is that despite the disturbing visuals, it is still smelling delicious. You can smell and taste the spices. That is absolutely appetizing. And as it kind of breaks and the pastry falls away, there is inside a beating heart that beats about 3 times before it falls silent.
Was there blood coming out of the heart?
A little, but it was more like kind of juices of a cooked meat stew,
Okay.
but a heart just fully undisturbed sort of a thing. Just
Um,
I mean, these are
Can
probably really fresh.
maybe it's symbolic. He gave us a heart to show that he loves us.
It smells good.
it is
Can I
human
take stock?
sized though.
Oh,
Can I take
Oh.
stock of this situation?
Yes, you may take stock of the situation. So
so it's like
the
a big
first-
samosa, like human heart sized.
Yeah. It was a massive samosa. It was
Okay.
not a couple of bite samosas. It was a little
like a
meal.
both hands kind of.
It's a meal samosa.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so since you are taking stock for the first time, for the sake of the audience, when you take stock of a tense situation, you may ask one of the following questions that are there. Which one would you like to ask?
What traps have been laid here for us?
So as you see the beating heart, you notice that there is a stew pot nearby that has, I guess, the filling that was used. And you sense that there's not just lamb in there.
There's like human remains.
Sister?
If you decide to go investigate it, I will certainly describe it. But you get the sense that, considering the heart and the whatever, that this filling isn't quite, let's just say, standard.
Ooh.
We don't want to be.
Go ahead. Sorry, go.
But it smells really great.
We don't want to be rude if this is how his family eats.
Yeah, and if it's something new, then maybe we could try it and we might like it. Remember that one time we tried, we've eaten some things that we thought we wouldn't like and it's turned out okay.
I would like to know what I'm eating before I eat it. So I would like to investigate the stew.
Yeah.
All right. So as you head to the stew, I assume you are investigating a mysterious object.
Yes.
So what is the first question you'd like to ask?
What about this item is odd or uncanny?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, it definitely is a good question. So you see that the stew pot has been sitting for a little while. It's like, even though the samosas smell fresh and feel warm, both sides, the stew has been sitting for quite a while. And there's almost like a thick layer coagulated fat, as you know, it's a very rich fatty dish on the top. But under the fat, you kind of see and especially as there's a ladle there that you kind of use to kind of like disturb it to see more. And you see round bits of meat resting in the sort of bare, congealed liquid. And you find a little toe in there that is unmistakably human.
Oh. I'm pretty sure that's a crime.
That's not supposed to be there. I think.
Yeah. No. I would like to know who ordered this.
This is definitely, since it is about the stew pot and maybe its contents, you get the sense as you sort of look at it that this has the initials BB, actually not BB, ND on it.
He never told us this.
Does he even know? Does he even come in here? Who makes his food?
Right, he didn't make this.
I mean, if he told us this was his favorite dish, we would have made it at maybe not with this exact ingredients, but he told us that his favorite dish was something different.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't.
It was very delicious. You look delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
Are all
Do we try it?
like this? No.
But it smells so good.
It does
We're
smell
so
very
hungry.
We could break
smells
open
delicious.
the other samosas and hope there aren't people in them.
Maybe it was just one. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to another big one and...
Or the small ones. Rancid meat stomach would be worth it to not eat people.
Oh, look who's come around on the little samosas now.
We wanted to try those earlier.
It did.
Yes,
also, maybe this is
sometimes I
another
can
kind
admit
of...
that it may have been hasty. Maybe.
It's big of you to admit that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
it's just, when it comes to eating something that has a person inside of it.
I mean, we all have our limits.
True. Okay. Little samosas?
Okay. Yeah, let's check out the little samosa.
Okay.
We'll eat a little samosa and crack open another big one to make sure that this is a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Should we
not
crack
at all
open
of
the
them.
small one too?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah,
let's
maybe
do
not.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should.
So you're going to crack it open before you eat it?
Yes.
Okay. So as you crack it open, the filling, it definitely looks closer to the pot in terms of congealed, but not the same thing. Like it's been sitting for a while. It's not really like, that's what I mean by congealed. And you notice you actually find a little nail with like purple nail polish on it.
Oh. In the small one?
Yep.
Okay, let's break all of them open.
Okay.
So does everyone in this house eat people?
And who?
Yeah, who is this?
Are you investigating the little samosas? Because those are different from the big samosas.
Fatale, you seem the most disturbed by these samosas. Would you like to take the lead?
All right. What memories does this item hold?
Is it the big or little samosas?
The big samosas.
You feel this feeling of love, of wanting to give your all to your husband. Of being so in love that you just want to give everything.
Okay. Why did Neela Dari keep this item?
When someone loves you like that, it's very flattering. And you want to fulfill their desire of giving them to you and you taking, like, appreciating them.
Sisters, I get the impression that Neela Dari has very, very bad taste in women.
What does that say about us?
Well, until now. Fatale means until now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Bad taste, as in...
He has a bad palate and bad taste.
As in, she wanted this?
Wait,
But that's not
No.
his fault.
that can't be right.
She
I mean, there were all sorts of-
wanted to give him everything, and he found it flattering.
But why was her heart still beating?
I'm starting to think that the magic wasn't just us being tired.
Yeah.
Unless this was recent. And
How quickly did he remarry?
I mean, he definitely wasn't married when he proposed to us.
do we believe that?
It wouldn't be the first time.
I mean, I knew there was something strange about him, but I didn't expect this.
Cannibalism is a bit much in a husband.
It is.
Is he going to expect us to also be a cannibal with him? No, like, do we have to eat this as well?
I mean, he seemed happy to eat the food at the wedding. We could offer to share our recipes with the household if they're unfamiliar with.
Well, we
food.
should definitely give them the recipes that we have.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We are
I
the
mean,
lady.
regardless.
We are the lady of the house.
Mhm.
We will take over handling the kitchen. This
Yeah.
is going to be our responsibility.
Okay.
We will make sure that this is not the food that we eat.
Okay.
Yes. Is it rude to get rid of it?
Well,
I think we would need to burn it.
we can put it in the
Burn it.
disposal. There was garbage disposal. We can put it in
Because
there.
it's a person.
It was a
It was a person.
Okay.
Maybe we could bury it.
I think she would come back and haunt us if we buried it.
If we bury it, yes.
Okay.
But we can't just leave it. Then
Well,
she
where
would
do we-
certainly haunt us for leaving her body
Okay,
like
well,
this.
okay. So where do we burn it?
Okay. Oh, yes. Fatale, where do we burn this?
Go outside? Like, was there space in the garden?
But there's the gas stove right there.
Oh,
What, you mean put it in the oven?
No, the
on
gas
top
stove
of
that is.
Oh, okay.
element.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two. There's the sort of top of the line, like kitchen
Okay. You know,
oven,
maybe
and
yeah.
there's also the little gas stove on the floor near
well,
the smaller
maybe-
samosas.
Yeah. We could do that. Yeah. And then the smell of it will still, and then it won't smell that bad because currently it smells nice. No one will suspect that. Okay.
It does smell very
It
nice.
smells nice. We could do that.
It's very
Okay.
delicious. Your tummy's rumbling.
I know.
We'll look for a snack after this.
Yeah. Maybe there's something else in the cupboard.
Some crackers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Something packaged.
So it seems like you would like to perhaps. How does disposing of remains fit under moves? I feel like that is. I will let you have your interpretation of it, but I feel
Can
like
I?
it would. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I propose that it's caressing the horror because we're trying to soothe the soul of the previous wife by not letting her be eaten?
Yeah, I will let you caress the horror.
Trying to give her remains like a decent send off, right? So
Yeah.
So either caress a horror or care for someone.
Yeah. I
think-
feel like this is more caress of horror because this is quite horrifying.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right, I will roll to caress this horror with plus blood, which is +1 for me. I got a 9.
Yay!
Oh, no.
So it is a mixed success.
Yay.
So when you caress a horror on a hit, the horror is swayed by your stroke. Direct what was intended for you to another victim in that house. On a 7 to 9, it'll shift its attention, but only if you participate in some way. As you go and sort of light that stove and essentially let that thing burn to ash, you hear behind you before you can turn around and look, almost like skittering, and the plate of samosas that were there have disappeared.
Oh.
And you see trail of crumbs as whatever was in it escaping and leaving.
Does that mean she didn't want us to burn her?
Should we try to get the rest of it or should we just let it?
I think we need to find wherever it went.
Yeah, it's going to leave a trail of. What if it's going to? Yeah,
What if we get blamed for the mess?
exactly. I mean, we'd be able to clear it up.
You get the sense that most of the pastry that was filling all these samosas are still here in the kitchen and lead to the door, but it's like a mess of like suddenly a dozen samosa eggs hatching and whatever was in it disappeared.
Ugh.
Fatale, you've got the pretty face and you know how to use it. You're going to get us out of this. And the ring is yours.
Oh. Okay. Well, since she doesn't want to be released, I think that tells us everything we need to know about what happened here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Are you
And it
proposing
sounds
a
like-
truth?
I am.
All right.
That one of the previous brides sacrificed herself to be made into samosas for Bluebeard to eat, and her love kept them fresh until he came to get them, and she won't be at rest until he eats them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you take as a token? And what sort of token is it?
Yeah, what do we take from this wonderful room?
Is is there like a kind of tiny piece of cutlery or something we could have?
Yeah, there's plenty of cutlery you can find.
The gas stove.
The whole thing, we carry it around.
You could. It'll turn into an itty bitty like Lego version.
I think that we're going to take the if there's a book of matches.
Yeah, there's a book of matches.
As a reminder that things that are useful can also burn themselves out.
Yeah.
And is it a faithfulness or a disloyalty token?
Well, she did this to herself. So I think that it's a token of faithfulness because...
I mean, maybe, but also I would hope that if he also loved her as much as he loves us, he would say he wouldn't want her to hurt herself like that.
I'm sure
but
he
then
didn't want her to.
He didn't eat them, so that's a plus.
But they were made.
I mean, I'm not sure.
Well,
Ultimately, it is your decision, Fatale.
Yeah.
No, you're right. His household made them. And whether or not that was her choice, they still let her exist in this limbo. And so I'm going to say it as a token of disloyalty.
All right, everyone take one trauma.
We burn out when those around us refuse to help.
Also, those samosas were pretty terrifying.
They really were.
Yeah, that was really yee.
But they smelled good.
Yeah, they did.
That made it worse.
Yeah.
It really did.
Did we find any other snacks in the cupboards? I assume not.
We just wanted some like cheese and crackers, but
Yeah.
Nothing that didn't require to be cooked.
Was there namkeen in there?
There's the ingredients for namkeen.
We could make ourselves something. Yeah, I don't think so. We're still also just wearing our wedding dress, like
I don't
wandering around.
want to fry things in this dress.
True.
Or in this
Yeah.
outfit.
I don't want it to like smell of cooking forever.
So as you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so we leave this horrible kitchen.
Mhm.
Yeah. So as you leave, where would you like to go next? As you currently have the ring.
Well, we're still looking for servants, right?
And we still are looking for our own room.
Mm-hmm.
And our things that we know our parents sent them. So I'm going to go through the key ring and see if there's anything that reminds me of home.
Yeah. What key sticks out to you as home?
I think that there's a key that is the same color as our parents' house. That it's painted a kind of like yellowy ochre color. And it's not too ornate, but it's not like as simple as the kitchen key was.
Yeah.
And it's worn a little bit smooth around the head.
Yeah. So as you sort of look at that key and try to think of where this key might belong, you sort of walk over to right now, all of these feelings, maybe you're feeling a little kind of like claustrophobic, perhaps. And as you head to where you think this key is, you do see that there's a matching door. And you can almost smell the smells of outside, of trees and fresh air. And as you unlock the door and step through, and the door behind you closes and this room beckons, you see that it is a spacious angan courtyard. And you see in front of you, to one corner, this big neem tree that is growing, providing shade. And under it, you see day beds made out of wicker and stools, and you also see the day beds are furnished with silk cushions. You also see a small hookah near one of the near one of the day beds that looks like it had been used as you enter.
I wonder if one of his relatives was here. And I call out, hello? Is anyone here?
As you get closer, you see that there's indeed, it looks to be a man lying in one of the beds.
Does he look asleep?
He's currently, looks like he is just lying down and dozing off. There's small snores coming out of him.
Oh, maybe this is our father-in-law.
We should introduce ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But should we wake him
up?
I think so.
Do
I mean,
you
it would
wake
be-
him up?
Yeah. Just
How do you do that?
I sit on one of the stools nearest that day bed that he's laying on and just, gently, father-in-law.
Who are you?
I am Neela Dari's bride. I've arrived today. Are you his father?
I am, and you. And sort of looks you up and down, gives you a very kind of like strong appraisal, notes your skin that is sort of worn from like your hands are rough and calloused, sees all your features and says, "Oh, I guess he married one of you again."
Well, sometimes love is able to see the true beauty in all of us.
He clearly doesn't get respect from his father, does he?
No. But we've always gotten it from mother, haven't we?
Yeah. It's fine. We can love him more than enough for his father and ourselves.
But, father-in-law, is there anyone else here? We haven't met any of the rest of the family.
Oh, they must be around, but what does it matter? I'm sure someone can show you to where you need to be, and I don't expect you need to wear such fancy clothes for what you need to do.
Well, I mean, we were just trying to find. I was just trying to find my room. I'm sure, someone as wise and kind as you are could help someone new and lost as myself. Since Neela Dari had to go away on business, and I have always wanted to rely on the kindness of my husband's relatives. I am
Okay.
trying to use my beauty and charm to get what I want.
Well, my dear, we don't really have many servants around here. We are blessed to be in such a wonderful home, but the upkeep is quite expensive, and I'm glad your parents have helped us in some of the upkeep with their very generous gift. Now, if you want to know more out of game, you will need to follow the second half of your. If you would like to follow up with a question, you may mark a trauma.
I have
I
a bad
think-
feeling about this.
But I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
'cause,
we need to know about this.
because this is the second time I've heard this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we let it slide once, and now it's.
father-in-law, what gifts or do you mean?
Well, the gold that is of your inheritance, the money for your inheritance. And it was really hard for them to give us a car, but they said that they would come up with it soon. They might need to sell the farm, but that's okay. They will do what's best for their daughter.
They didn't tell us that, did they?
No, and Neela Dari is rich. The family is rich themselves.
They don't need this from us.
Yeah.
Why would they take so much from us?
Neela Dari said that we would have all these things and that he would give them to us.
Maybe our father-in-law's lying.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't like us.
But doesn't explain why there's no one here.
You know, for a palace this large and a family so rich, you would expect them to have some servants in the house, and he says that they don't have very many. That seems off to me.
Well, girl, you know what to do. You know, the kitchen is where it is. You can go start preparing for tomorrow's breakfast. And sort of almost...
But father-in-law,
But treat us like this.
before we start with the chores, we just need to find our room and change.
Yes, the servants' quarters are down the hall there.
The what?
Excuse us.
And sort of is looking at you and saying, like, I must get my sleep unless you would like to help my circulation in my legs. And sort of points to his feet.
No.
And there's a little pot of oil to like massage legs.
What?
Goodness, no.
Not in our wedding dress.
I will come back, father-in-law, after I've changed and prepared the atta and rest your legs, of course. But
Yes. And please get me some chai and some biscuits and whatever anyone else wants. And it's like just sort of like almost.
And okay, and you say that there's anyone else? Who else
yes,
is
your
here?
mother-in-law must be. My wife must be somewhere, and I don't know where my children are, but they will be somewhere around. Oh, whatever. Please, I'm feeling very parched. I am a sickly old man, and I need my sustenance. I'm trying very hard not to
You know, there
laugh
was quite a bit of
because this is
sustenance at the
really-
wedding. It's too bad you didn't attend.
Oh.
Well, as you can see, I'm a sickly old man. And of course, my son, I didn't even know that he had another wife.
He didn't know.
And
I mean, he has so many. How am I supposed to keep track?
and what happened to the other wives that he had before me?
And he sort of, at this point, kind of is looking very angry. And there's a cane next to him, and he takes it out. And he just smacks you on the legs to sort of like go get stuff done. Please mark one trauma.
Wow.
I am going to use a ring move.
Question.
Yes.
Is that one trauma for everyone or just for the Fatale?
It is definitely for the Fatale. I will, in the game, I will allow anyone else to take a trauma and sympathy as you share the same body.
Right.
When it's psyche, it's more
think-
individual.
Yeah.
I will take that.
I took it.
I don't think I am going to take it. And I don't know if I should do this before we use the ring move or not. But then since Fatale took the trauma, I would like to explain why it is her fault. Like if I use my own shield move.
Sure,
Yeah.
you may use your shield move for the Fatale.
I'm just going to be like, oh my goodness, Fatale, you could tell he's super not in the mood to answer our questions. I think we got about as much out of him as we possibly could. And you decided to push on it further. And look what you've done. That was totally your fault. Do you believe me?
You know what? I do believe you, because I mean, he did ask me to leave a couple of times, and he asked me to rub his legs. And
Yeah.
I should have done that.
So you can mark one less trauma for it, since you believe me.
Not to
And
mention you
I,
mouthed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like that was too far. I appreciate what you were trying to do, but that was absolutely too far. If Neela Dari isn't here, then I suppose he is the lord of the house, and we can't disrespect him like that.
And I am going to caress a horror. 11. Yes.
On a hit, the horror swayed by your stroke, direct what was intended for you to another victim in the house. So he was, even though he's a sickly man, he was very, very quick, oddly, and hard with that smack. Like on like walking cane on shin, it's painful.
Mm-hmm.
And he's about, so what do you do to have him?
I'm gonna say, I'm so sorry, father-in-law. Lay down and I'll rub your legs. You shouldn't exert yourself so much. And I'll make it better.
Okay. As you massage his legs that are actually, even though he says he is sickly and he is unable to move, the legs look very well toned. But they and you massage them, and then he says, well, I guess since you're the bride, you should probably, until your henna fades away, you should probably not be doing any of the tasks. I guess I'll have to go find my other good-for-nothing daughter-in-law. And eventually kind of gets up very slowly and kind of leaves.
Oh, well,
So there's
I
another-
think that, Mother, this might be more your purview than mine.
Of course.
There's another bride.
It appears so.
He said he had multiple children. It makes sense that some of them would be boys.
Yeah.
And this house is huge. Why wouldn't they live here?
Still, I feel bad that now a different daughter-in-law is going to have to deal with that.
True, but she's likely had longer than a couple of hours to prepare for his moods. And so she is probably more equipped than we are at this time.
Yeah. This is very different from the life that Neela Dari told us that we would have.
It's very different from Neela Dari himself. It's a wonder that he turned out the way he did with a father like that.
But also, you would think that he would, if he didn't actually enjoy it or believe that this was a woman's place, that he would lay down firmer law in his house.
Yeah.
Maybe he does when he's here.
And what does he do about taking all of those goods from our family?
You're right.
Yeah.
That had to have come from him directly, especially if his family didn't even know that we were coming.
I mean, when would they have asked for anything? We never saw them.
True.
Yeah.
But he knows that we don't have that kind of stuff to give. I don't...
Well, if they do sell the farm, as he said, then maybe we might.
But then where are they going to live?
Maybe they're coming here.
You
Everyone
think
else lives here.
Mama and Daddy didn't say anything about that?
Maybe they wanted to surprise us?
And not overwhelm us on our big day.
Maybe.
Okay.
What should we do?
So then proposing a truce. I mean, it seems like our father-in-law stays here and that he possibly pretends to be weak and feeble and asks people to do things for him.
There wasn't a lot of asking there.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Demanding. He demands a lot from others. And I can't explain away why our husband would take from our family when he knows we have so little. So I think we're going to take a token of disloyalty.
Yeah, this is suspicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody mark another trauma.
Yeah.
How are we all doing trauma-wise?
I
have two.
3.
3.
Okay. So what is a representation of that token as you leave?
Was there a cloth with the oil? Maybe we
Yeah.
could take that.
Oh,
There's a little oil massage and then cloth, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that, or the cane if he didn't take it with him.
He took the cane with him because, he has to
Pretend.
whip his daughter-in-laws in shape.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, a cloth with the oil works.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can fold it so the oil's in the middle and doesn't stain our dress, but we can.
We're gonna sort of, do the whole
It's
what is
fine.
pocket of holding?
Yeah.
Pocket of holding.
Yeah. I mean, we made this for ourselves. We would have made big pockets, but invisibly. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you take that and exit the room. Where would you like to go next, Mother?
I'm not sure if we want to find anyone else at this point.
yeah.
Do we really want to meet anyone else in this family before we are able to change and settle?
No.
Yeah, I mean, if they're anything like him, then no. But maybe,
Right.
I mean, maybe another one of the daughter-in-laws. If we find one, then maybe she might be sympathetic.
Yeah.
She
We
also
can
has to deal with
unionize.
this. Yeah, we can ask her. We can help her. Maybe she can help us. But maybe we should just go to the servants' quarters if that's where our stuff is.
We can
Still
move
can't
it
believe
into
that's
that,
where they put it.
Yeah,
move it into that room with all the.
I mean, maybe it's a joke and a tradition that we just don't know about.
I'm sure we can pick our own room
Yeah.
later. Yeah, so we will try to go to the servants' quarters since that's where we were told our stuff is.
Yeah, sure. So what sort of a key do you pick out?
Yeah, I think that it's a small or average size, not as small as the one we're not supposed to use, of course, brass key that it's really old and worn, and it feels really heavy in our palm, but it's very plain.
Yeah, and you sort of go into what looks to be an older, grimier part of this, where the looks don't matter as much, and you see a door that matches it, and you put the key in the lock. It fits. You enter, and the room beckons, and the door closes behind you. You see over here that there is 2 or 3 beds. Well, if you can call them beds. They're more like rolls, very thin rolls on the ground with an even thinner sort of, if it can even be called a pillow or a cushion on top of it for where the head is. And there's a very thin cotton, almost see-through, barely would keep you warm if it's cold. Little sort of like linens next to it.
Like a sheet. Yeah.
Yeah, like a sheet. You also see that there is a couple of trunks that don't look like anything that you would have packed your stuff in, but there are trunks over there. And you see that there is a small section over there where there is dirty old rags that the best way to describe it would be they're in various shades of rust. They used to be white, but now they're sort of in various splotches of rust color, of old dried blood. And this place barely has any there's no windows in here. There is actually there's one window where it is heavily barred, so you can't go in and nobody can come in, but you can kind of see outside. And there is a clothesline on top for people to hang their clothes, and a small little basin of water and a bucket and some soap. And the soap looks very threadbare.
Oh. Do we see any of our things in here?
There are trunks. You don't know if your stuff would be in there, but that would be something to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's check out the trunks.
As you go to investigate the trunks have different initials on each of them. One has LV, another one has AC, and other sort of initials on each of them.
These probably belong to the servants of the house, I assume.
Yeah.
Probably.
Are there any for us?
Yeah, do we see our initials anywhere?
TB, the bride.
Actually, you do eventually come to one that says TB.
Perfect. We open that one.
As you open it, inside you find all of your very old clothes that actually you probably had left behind and were not going to bring with you.
Oh. So as we were packing to go, yeah.
Your most threadbare, your most almost like, like old sweats with whole, like that sort of
okay.
managing of clothing. Things that you'd wear maybe if you were, if it were that time of the month.
Okay.
Okay.
There has to be some sort of misunderstanding.
Yeah.
There's no way that Amaba would send these clothes for us to live in this house.
So what about this one? I thought we grew out of it and gave it to our sister like years ago.
You did?
Yeah.
And
Maybe there's another trunk. Maybe
all of the trunks are unlocked.
I
mean, we could see if we could find something else more suitable. I mean, if there's no one here.
And also, if father-in-law was talking about all of us, all the women being like the servants here, are these trunks from Bluebeard's other brides? Or from his other daughter-in-law?
We don't know.
Neela Dari didn't say anything about us being a servant of the house.
He said we were going to be his equal and his lady.
This isn't what we signed up for.
No, it isn't.
no. I'm sure it's a misunderstanding. If nothing here fits, maybe we could borrow something from one of the other trunks.
Yeah. Should we see what's inside?
I'm not so sure about it being a misunderstanding. There's too much that has gone wrong for me to believe that. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I know it.
that,
Good.
I know that you want to trust him, but
I do want to trust
people
him.
lie all the time.
But why would he lie to us like this? Yeah.
Maybe he is just like every other wealthy man we've ever met in our entire life. Maybe he's not that different after all.
Yeah.
As you're sort of looking around for another chest, perhaps, you get the very strong smell of ash and smoke from one particular trunk.
So as if something is burning or as if something has been?
Has burnt.
Okay.
The aftermath of it.
Oh, that might be a hazard, actually.
Hold on. With everything that's been going on, I think we're maybe a little bit on edge, a little bit paranoid. And we're going to take stock of a tense situation.
Yes, you may. What question would you like to ask?
What does this place demand of the bride? What is required of us here?
This place demands you to conform, to serve this family, to be the beacon of wealth and luck and prosperity that you are supposed to be, but to know your place. You are of a lower station, and you should stay in that. That you smell, you feel might be a consequence if you do not conform.
Okay.
It seems that Neela Dari's promises were, let's say, misleading.
Even I can't explain all of this away.
Yeah.
I still want to open that trunk before we leave.
Okay. Well, what do we have to lose now?
It's just so the trunk that has the smell coming from it. Mariam, I want to open that.
As you open it, you see this length of sari rise and wrap into the shape of a woman. And you feel sort of the cloth, it's burnt in multiple places. And it's as if you don't feel the heat. You don't feel that sort of a danger, but you can smell it. You can see it. And there, as this form sort of takes complete, like as the form fills out with the sari, you see a woman who, without going into detail, has no hair and third-degree burns all over.
Right.
And says, Have you paid everything in full? And sort of is grabbing you and saying, if you haven't, then you need to pay in flesh. And is basically trying to sort of wrap you in her sari.
We don't want that.
No.
Okay, let's see. God, I don't want to be violent.
You can care for her.
Okay, so this is a maiden move. When you care for someone, servant or horror, you ease their suffering and bridle their torment. They may demand a demonstration of your sincerity. So before I ask for a demonstration, how do you care for her?
I think that because you said that the sari is she's trying to wrap that around us.
Yeah.
So I think that for just a moment.
And you're starting to feel the heat as it's wrapping around you. Like you can actually feel the flames touching you.
Okay. I think for just a moment, we're able to calm ourselves and not necessarily fight the sari is being wrapped around us, and attempt to calm her by explaining that everything has been paid in full and it's fine. Everything's been paid in full. It's okay now. She can rest. It's all been handled, and just try to soothe her with our words, and also not by pulling away and being horrified.
Yeah.
Okay. She will demand to make sure that you have a receipt. She will demand your clothes, your bridal outfit.
Oh, our bridal outfit, sisters.
Is she going to burn it? I mean, I guess we can't really ask her that. I mean,
As in,
It's
mechanically, switch clothes. You're not going to burn,
Okay.
but you'll have to wear her burnt sari.
Well, we did come here looking for a change of clothes, I guess.
It's better than the clothes in the trunk.
At least this will fit.
Yeah, and we can always make another one. It'll take weeks, but we could.
We could. Fatale, this one seems to have holes in places that you might find appealing.
I mean, we could make use of them somehow.
Yeah. Maybe we can fix it up later.
So do you willingly give the bridal dress?
Begrudgingly, I'd say.
Yeah.
As you do, as the dress comes on, it starts kind of like burning on this as it touches this woman. The embroidery starts to sort of like if it melts, it melts. Otherwise it burns and slowly disintegrates to nothing. And there's a sigh of relief as this horror dissipates and you are left in the room with the sari. And whatever clothes are there, but there's nothing of interest.
Yeah.
Or of better quality.
So can I propose
Yes, you may.
a truth? So I think that her family wasn't able to pay everything they promised, and she was punished for it. I feel guilty because I opened the trunk, but I won't let my sisters know I feel guilty.
Yeah. I mean, we all kind of agreed we would open it, so
Yeah.
it's kind of on everybody at that point.
And then,
So what token is it?
Is there a scrap of our dress?
Yeah, I'll say I'll let you get a little scrap of your dress.
I'd like
As
to
it
take that. If
burns.
everyone agrees, what does everyone think?
Yeah,
I think that's a good
yeah.
idea.
and
Devastating.
Mm-hmm.
It's a piece of your veil.
Perfect.
Yeah.
and there's no,
We worked so hard on that.
there's no denying that Neela Dari knew about that.
No,
Yeah.
he must.
There's no
have.
way that he couldn't have not known.
Too many things. He wanted us to find out this way because he just wanted us to suffer.
I don't think he cares at all.
So shall I say this is a token of disloyalty?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. There's
Yes.
too much.
Yeah.
All right,
Fucked up
that does
shit.
put us at 3 tokens, which is enough to trigger the final room.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sisters, you have had a very, very long night and have lost literally the clothes off your back. You have traveled these dark halls in search of a truth most divisive. Each room provided you with all the evidence you desired to make that one fateful choice. Now you stand before that forbidden final room and you must decide. Do you present evidence to the town or do you run away and start anew?
They.
I don't think presenting evidence to the town is going to do anything.
They would never believe us, and it would break our parents and our community's heart. They worked so hard for this.
Mm-hmm.
If we
And
could
it's
just.
not
they-
like they didn't know. The
Yeah.
families of his
Exactly.
previous brides,
They never
would-
spoke up.
no.
Yeah. Well, maybe they were too scared. I think if we run away and then we write home and we tell our parents it's fine and that everything is fine.
I think that
Then they'll never find out.
even if people believed us, I don't think that they would help us in any way because what do they care? This is
Yeah. And
it's a marital affair. It's internal. It's domestic. It's not their problem.
yeah.
Right.
Also, our best friend can never know because then she might be in danger too.
Or she can join us.
We could go. I mean, what if she's next?
Let's run away with her.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Should we try and find her?
All right, so it looks like you're going to run away and start anew.
We're going to try to. We're going to try to.
So under that, there are 5 questions that we're going to answer collectively as a group. Feel free to jump in. How does Neela Dari make the bride's family pay for her disloyalty?
Mm,
It has something to do with the farm, I think.
I mean, he's already taken everything else. Maybe he demands one of us. Maybe he demands our sister.
Oh my
Oh.
god. Yeah. One of our
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
younger
the youngest
sister.
one.
The
The
perfect
sister.
bride.
Yes. Yep.
And because she was at our wedding and she said she'll be a princess, she has no idea, and we haven't been able to contact her. So
Mhm.
For all
Yeah.
you know, probably made you out to be the bad one.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. How does the bride convince someone else to marry her? Now, because it doesn't have to be a man, it can be whoever. So this is a little fantasy fulfillment if you wish.
This is
'Cause
the
there's-
easy one,
yeah,
I think. I
Yeah.
think we go back to our best friend and we find her and we tell her everything and we convince her that there is no way that we will be able to find anything better in this
Yeah.
world than each other.
Mm-hmm.
and she knew that already. And we also have so much evidence, like we can show her and only her.
Yep.
All right. Then why does the bride keep the tokens she discovered?
I think it's a reminder that we need to hold fast to what we actually care about and who we actually care about.
Mm-hmm.
It also, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, it also like reminds us that whenever we think, oh, like, was it really that bad? Did any of that really happen? We look at it and it's like, no, we found physical reminders. Like, we're not going to, we're not going to pretend that this wasn't real
Mm-hmm.
because we know that no one else would believe us. So sometimes it doubts, it makes us doubt ourselves and we're like, no, actually, we have to remember that we did.
Okay. What memory of Neela Dari's house gives the bride pleasure when it shouldn't?
Definitely those samosas.
The samosas and the smell.
Yeah. Like we were so tempted to eat that, like nearly.
And still when we smell samosas, they don't smell quite as good as those.
Yeah.
Do you ever eat samosas again?
Oh, good question.
That's not part of the thing. It's just
No, but I don't. No.
I like to think that maybe we have tried really, really hard to recreate samosas that smell like that and just we can't get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we cut our finger this one time chopping vegetables and we were like, what if we just squeezed it and put the blood in it? Would it smell better? And we were like, that's weird. But also we totally wanted to do that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then last question. What loving gesture does Bluebeard, what does Neela Dari make when he finds her?
Maybe he brings our sister and she is all dressed up in everything that he said that we would have, but she's clearly not having a good time, but she looks the part. I don't know.
He offers to give the farm back, like to our family.
Yeah. Those are good thoughts. I was going to say a new wedding dress, but I like both those better.
Yeah.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
What does he take in return?
I think we were hoping that he would never ever contact us again. So
Right. Although
I
giving
mean-
our parents' farm back is a pretty big.
yeah, I mean, I guess we have to accept that one because otherwise it's a case of like it gets sold to someone else or I don't know.
I mean, but
Or
there's
he
nothing
gives
we
you
can
the
do
farm
for...
back, but it has been salted and burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then
And
what
also
use is
it doesn't include any of our livestock.
Yeah. Everything is destroyed.
Yeah.
It's
So
And
it
our
gives us the
sister's
land,
bad.
but it's useless.
Our sister is very bad.
Yeah.
And with that, on that note, this is Bluebeard's bride.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching. Let's quickly go around the table with our outros of who you are, where we can find you, and one thing that stuck out in this game for you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I'm a TTRPG performer. Today, I was the witch, and other times you can find me on various different channels and podcasts playing TTRPGs. If you like what I do, you can find me on Twitter at @shahid_, where I talk about all of the different projects I'm a part of. I kind of bounce between a lot of different channels and stuff, so I won't try and list them here, but go follow me on Twitter and you will see them all. In terms of something that stuck out to me in this game, I think the interesting thing for me is the way in which there was this give and take, that even something good always came with something bad in this game. That really stuck out to me. I think the samosas in particular, the cannibal samosas, that was what is this? Especially the way that Mario.
Are you ever going to have samosas for again?
Look. I love samosas. You can't take them away from me. But I will say that I will probably think about this game every time I eat one now, and it's going to be interesting.
Sorry. Sorry.
The prophecy came true. It was Bluebeard's Bake Off. It's true.
We talked about that. We made it happen.
Oh no.
The hack is coming. Just watch for it.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a TTRPG game designer, writer. I do live streams and also co-host a interview podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Kristen is no Jedi. My big project right now is prepping for my Kickstarter coming in January for Adorablins, which is a family-friendly, rules-light, super fun game. The amazing art is by Amber at Rocket Orca, and it's being co-published by my company, which is Dice Up Games at Dice Up Games, and Letterman Games, which is at Letterman Games. It's my first time playing. Really happy because I trust Miriam a lot, and I was right to do so because they ran the game wonderfully. I think other than it being one of my first horror games, I really liked how I have played with no one here other than Mariam. And I think that we just kind of fell into being sisters pretty quickly. And I enjoy that a lot about games. So thank you, everyone. I had a really great time.
Well, it was good to play with you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Pooja. You can find me on Twitter at LADaisy That's LADESI girl, and pretty much everywhere else is Forgotten Saves. I am a TTRPG performer and a system prop master for television production. You can hear me play games at 12-Sided Stories, an actual play podcast, fully produced with music and sound effects. And I GM'd the horror episode for us, or Halloween episode, I should say. And we ran Brindlewood Bay, which is about a group of old ladies who solve, or don't they, solve a murder. And you can also find me occasionally on Happy Jack's RPG and It's Probably Okay's Twitch channel. So one thing that struck out to me here was how real some of these horrors felt, and the whole thing about the father-in-law and what people feel like women's place, a new wife's place is in the home.
Yeah, it's based on quite a few things.
Yes. And I know it's one thing to be yes, we will probably explore these things that are based on reality, and it's another thing to be in the magic horror game and be still very real. This is still very real.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes, okay. It was a thoroughly enjoyable, horrific experience. Yeah. And I loved playing with everyone. It was really great to have such a fantastic group of people to play with.
I'm Sebastian, and I use they, them pronouns. I'm a TTRPG writer, designer, editor, and performer. You can find me over on Twitter at SebastianUA, all one word, SebastianYue. And my upcoming project is I'm an editor on Uncaged Goddesses, which is a 5e anthology. I'm very excited, so I'll be doing work on that in November, and I'll be announcing when it's available. Thank you so much. And for this game, Mariam, I really appreciate how attentive you were to all of the answers we gave, and I appreciate how you took everything that we loved and destroyed it. That was magnificent. You did a really, really good job, and I think that it really did help flesh out the setting, starting with the wedding. I haven't played a game in which that has happened before, so that was really cool to see. Thank you.
I'd like to say that was my idea, but I actually got a lot of my Bluebeard's Bride experience from B. B was one of my first groundskeepers. So, just a big shout out. They're amazing.
They are such a good groundskeeper. It's just horrifying how good they are at it.
Yeah. And so I learned from the best. And as for myself, I am Mariam. You can find me on Twitter at media_junkie. I usually lurk around here in Utopia, GMing Kahania, or occasional one-shots such as these. And I'm also a co-host along with Kristen and Jeremy. They're Super Geek. We play lots of fun one-shots by gender marginalized GMs. So please go check us out alternate Thursdays live, and otherwise on other Thursdays, you can just listen to our VOD or watch our VOD or listen to our podcast. So yeah, Thursdays they're Super Geek. And for me, the thing that stuck out the most was I think sort of like how we all, there's this dress and everything, and then at the end you have to give it up.
Mm-hmm. True.
This whole time we were just trying to preserve that outfit.
Yeah.
And you did such a good job preserving it.
We worked so hard.
Not so much as a stain on it until it got burned to a crisp.
In the back of my head, I was like, how am I going to get this outfit ruined? I'm just waiting.
Just waiting for an opportunity.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But each time you were all so careful, and I was like, okay, no, we're at the last room. This is going to happen somehow. I'm going to make it happen. But you could have always chosen to say no, so that I would have respected that, but then other things would have happened.
Yeah. I mean, we would have gotten burned along with the outfit, so either way it would have been ruined. So we might as well.
All right, so we are at the end of our stream, and since this is pre-recorded, I don't know if we're going to get into a raid, but if we do, we're going to go into our end screen soon. And if we do raid, please show them some love, and stay tuned for more Game Roulette episodes and other stuff that happens on Utopia. Good night, everyone.
Good night.